Listen to me. I'm one of the credit cards in your wallet. I'm about to explode and pop like a balloon. You're using me and my brothers way too much. Your credit cards aren't the only ones annoyed. It's your paycheck that doesn't have enough to pay everything. Save your credit cards, your paycheck, and yourself a lot of PAIN. Pain. Call the debt helpline now. Not tomorrow, right now. Our experts will show you how you can cut your interest rates and your payments on your credit cards in half. Credit card companies have special assistance programs designed to help you. Make this 100% free call right now and learn how you could get out of credit card debt. Here's the number.
800-915-6831. 800-915-6831. 800-915-6831. That's 800-915-6831. Paid for by Zero Debt.
It's the Sunday Chronicle on Sex 92.1. It's the Sunday Chronicle. We gon' give the news and keep you up to date. From crimes to the politics, you gon' know what's up around your way. We give 2 thumbs up to everyone out here doing their thing. We gon' show man love to all the ones working hard in communities. It's the Sunday Chronicle.
Good morning and welcome to the Sunday Chronicle. I'm your host, Yanice Carter, coming to you from Stacks 92.1 FM. This is a platform for community because community knows what community needs. I'd like to thank all my followers and listeners for being here once again, bright and early on a Sunday morning, or if you are catching us via stream, wherever you are streaming, we welcome you as well. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We could not be here without your support, and we are happy to say once again that we are 40 years strong. The Chronicle is 40 years strong, and we would not be here without the support of the community, buildings, communities, one brick and one story at a time. To my right, I have my trusty co-host, Span.
One brick and one story at a time? I like that.
Isn't that nice?
That is nice.
I am such a wordsmith. Thank you.
You are a publisher. If you couldn't write, why are you publishing?
I don't know, because some people do that, but I say this, let them.
Yeah, let them.
Let them. I let them. I've been into this whole let them theory, and if they want to do that, then just let them. I will do my thing. I control that. I stay in my lane, and I do what my publisher thing, right?
Hell yeah.
Alrighty. So thank you for being here once again. I wanted to make sure that you participate on this episode.
Okay.
Because we want you to, be in this space.
Politics is my specialty, so I got you.
Okay, well, very good. So then, speaking of politics, we're going to shift to my guest, my very special guest, Maat Maasdam. I want to make sure I said that correctly.
Perfect.
Thank you for being here today.
Thank you, Yanice. Appreciate it. Yeah, it's great to be here.
And so you are here. You are running for Congress, right?
Yeah, that's right.
The 7th District?
Correct.
Within Michigan.
Right.
Okay. So, with that, tell me, well, first I want to know a little bit about Matt. What kind of got you into the mindset of wanting to run for office? That's like a huge job. It can be very thankless. I know, especially when you are running, people want you to solve everything, including world hunger, right?
That's right.
In minutes. In minutes.
Right. They want you to do it right there when they ask the question.
That's right.
So tell me a little bit about Matt. And what got you to this point you are today, running for Congress?
I'm motivated by service and helping people. And so I joined the Navy because I wanted to help the country and serve the country and protect people. And so I came back from 20 years. I was a Navy SEAL. I carried the nuclear codes for President Obama. Wow. And I was fighting for the Constitution that whole time. And I feel like I'm watching Trump shred the Constitution in front of us, like one little piece at a time. And so I want to continue that fight and serving the country from this seat in Michigan
awesome.
7.
So Navy SEAL, that's like really intense training, right?
It is intense training. So I did it, I had 116 people in my class initially. 16 of those graduated on time.
That is like, wow.
It's a lot of attrition, yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
And I had, everybody gets hurt in training, but I was in Hell Week. So Hell Week is a week where you don't sleep. And we were running on the beach, and I stepped in a hole that was covered with, vines, and my toes touched my shin. And I heard a pop in my calf, and I was like, so I went over to the instructor, and I said, hey, I just heard this pop on my calf. And he goes, well, you can keep going or you can quit. And I was like, well, I didn't come here to quit. So I kept going, ran 100 miles like that.
Oh, that's some Navy SEAL stuff.
It was painful. But that doesn't make me special. Everybody in my class was injured in some way, had to deal with something, you know, that nobody knew about. And so they all got it done. And that's what I want to do for this district.
Well, hey, that sounds like a transferable skill to me.
Yeah. You know, like, you can be a tough person and still be a kind person.
Yeah.
And so somebody who I think falls in that category is Obama. You know, I worked for him for a while. Always led with kindness, but he was tough at the same time. And so
that's cool.
It was fun to see, and I'm kind of that way as well.
So tell me, where you're from?
Yeah, I'm from Lincoln, Nebraska originally. I came here to go to school, joined the Navy right after school.
Oh, cool. Okay. So, leading up to today, how'd you get into to the whole politics thing, though? Like, you know, because you said you worked for Obama.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how'd that lead up to, how'd you get, you know, into that position and then leading up to the Congress?
So in that job, let's see, I'll give you a little bit about that job. So that job, you're carrying the nuclear codes for the president, and that's like part of the job. But the other part is you're coordinating all the White House military folks. It's about 3,000 people every day. Mm-hmm. And so it's Air Force One, it's the helicopters, it's the communicators, and you're making sure that they are working with the Secret Service and the White House staff so the president can get everything they want done accomplished. I had 2 kids while I was there. My wife was a helicopter pilot in the Navy as well. We met at survival school, like at prisoner of war training school. Wow. 57 guys in class, 3 women. Toughest person in the class was my wife. And so she's smiling the whole time or get beat, you know, not sleeping, not eating. And
so they're like training you to like be a prisoner of war?
Correct, yeah. It was terrible, like
that
miserable
like
training.
Rambo or something.
Yeah, and she was smiling the whole time, super optimistic. And I made my way over at the end. I said, "How are you enjoying this? This is really painful and terrible." And she said, "Hey, I want to serve my country. You know, I've wanted to do this my whole life. I'm excited to be here." And I'm like, I need more of this person in my life.
You knew that was the one.
I asked her out right there. She said yes. And 2 years later, we were married. And so
awesome.
It was good. But so we had 2 kids while we were at the White House. You know, the first time Trump was elected, my kids cried, which is an understandable response. The second time we were back here in Michigan, we brought them back here to raise them with kind of the Michigan values of community and family and grit and toughness. And when Trump won in 24, my kids were getting mad and they started to complain. I said, "Guys, we don't complain about problems, we solve them."
Yeah.
And so I looked around as to what I could do. Tom Barrett had just flipped the seat because Alyssa Slotkin had become senator. She just endorsed the campaign, by the way, which is awesome.
Very good. Congratulations.
Thank you. It was great. And so when that seat flipped, I'm like, that's what I can do. I can take that back. I knew this seat would be in play in 26, so that because we want to flip the House back to blue, the House of Representatives, and so this is going to be one of those districts. It's exactly 50-50 in terms of the Republican-Democrat breakdown, and so I'm excited to help contribute to flipping the House back to blue so we can kind of stop some of Trump's progress.
So tell me what running for Congress and, you know, you being in that position, how would that help the constituents and the district that you would serve? So
I'm excited to serve this district. You know, I'm here to take what this district says and wants and does to Washington, D.C.
Okay.
And to tell Washington, D.C. this is how Mid-Michigan feels. This is a place where we make things and we grow things, you know what I mean? So it's everything from farmers to manufacturing and everything in between. I want to take everybody's opinions, the large perspective that it is, to Congress and say this is how Michigan feels about things.
Can I jump in, Yanice?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just curious. There's a lot of things you can choose. I mean, when we're talking about going up against the Trump regime, I mean, it's a lot of the healthy spaces to discuss what you would take on.
Yeah.
But if there's one element specifically on how you want to serve this district there, like a certain need that this area has more than any other, like what would I would say be your operating focus on your platform specifically for District 7? Just like, I don't know, like higher wage, like medical care, like what is your biggest informing focus?
Yeah, so the lens that I'll look at everything through is affordability. because cost of living is just too much. It's going up too fast.
It's nonsense, sir.
Yeah.
That's right. It's a hoax,
It's
right? And so is what Trump says. And so, but as I'm knocking doors and I'm everywhere from, South Lansing and Eaton Rapids all the way to Milford and South Lyon, like, everybody's saying affordability is a big part of the problem. And so whether it's gas or healthcare or housing or groceries or energy prices, like all of it's up. And so I want to make sure that we bring those prices down. And honestly, a lot of it's self-inflicted. If we go to war with Iran and it's not needed necessarily, I'm not saying Iran's good guys, they're not good guys, but I don't think the president presented, the case to the American people and to Congress to say this is why we need to go to war, this is what we want to accomplish, this is the plan to get it done, and this is how we're going to leave. None of that happened. And so we go over there and we're stuck in this kind of quagmire forever war thing, and it's escalating. It's going up, and we've been there 150 days. Like, I want to see us out. Gas prices are up, and that is the thing I hear most indoors, honestly, is like, I cannot believe gas prices
are insane.
So high.
Yes.
Healthcare is right up there, and so, groceries, people are paying, like, it hurts, and tariffs hurt groceries. War hurts gas prices. The big bill hurt healthcare.
How do you work to bring those down? I know it's a lot of work. You work with the constituents, right? Bringing those concerns to the White House or to Washington,
to DC, yeah.
DC, and then from there, what other types of things can you work with the people to get done?
Yes, and so we want to make sure we have the right folks here, so that we are the conduit, the representative and their team is the conduit for the district to plug into, so that they can talk to the federal government. And so we want to make sure we get federal funds back to the district, and we want to make sure that the people are heard in the district. And so you have to show up everywhere. You have to listen to people. Our current rep, Tom Barrett, does no town halls. He doesn't talk to anybody. And so I actually want to be there and listen to what everybody has to say on both sides of the aisle. We want everybody's perspective, and so you can take that back.
How can we access you? How do we get a hold of you in the campaign and make concerns, like voice our concerns?
The best way is through the website, maatmaasdam.com, and so it's...
How do you spell Maasdam?
It's MAASDAM, and so MAASDAM. So Matt up top, M-A-T-T, and then my last name. And so reach out to the campaign. Let us know what your thoughts and concerns are, but we're happy to help. We want to listen. We're going to be available, and we're going to show up everywhere we can.
Make sure you spell his name right, people, or hit you with a Navy SEALs drop kick.
He went to prisoner of war training. I'm not trying to mess with that.
Yeah.
So I would say in your first 90 days and you get this position, what would be like some of the things that you would do, I would say, in order from 1 to 3?
Order from 1 to 3. I would really like to see an anti-corruption bill. I don't think people should go to D.C. to get rich. I think they're there to serve the people of their district and the country. And so whether it's stock trading in Congress or we see members of the Supreme Court doing things that we've taken on honor that they wouldn't do, or tradition that they wouldn't do, and it's happening, so we need to codify in law, this is how Supreme Court justices should act, as well as the executive branch, to say hey, you're not here to make money, you're not here to make $2 billion a year, you're here to serve the public good. And so I want to see an anti-corruption bill that addresses all of that, make sure that there's no stock trading in Congress in particular. I'm a no corporate PAC, so I don't take any corporate money. I'm a no stock trading in Congress person, and I actually have been endorsed by End Citizens United to help get all the dark money out of politics. I don't want to see that. Right? Okay. And so I'm excited about that. That would be 1. 2, I've been endorsed by more unions than anybody in this race. I would support the PRO Act and getting things done quicker, making sure there's no national right to work bills out there, because it weakens people's ability to collectively bargain and get things that unions are fighting for. They're fighting for safety and health care and training and retirement and wages. And those are things that I want to see people look after the middle class and the working class. And by working class, I mean anybody who works at this point, right? And so we're fighting for that group of people to make sure that it isn't just billionaires who are succeeding in this environment. I can't believe, and I won't stand by, Well, we say we don't have money for education and healthcare and housing, but we have money to drop bombs on other countries, and we have money to give billionaires tax breaks. Like, that makes no sense to me. And I won't stand by while that happens. So I want to make sure that we are, addressing corruption, that we're helping the unions and the people who are out there working hard for a living. That I'm a big proponent of the American dream. I feel like Donald Trump and Tom Barrett are stealing that American dream so that the billionaires can have like this much more, and that's not okay with me. So,
well, I really appreciate you being here. And before we close out, because we have to take a short break, was there anything that else you wanted to ask Matt?
Of course there is. But you only have so much time.
Yes, and that's why I said I will give the last question to my co-host.
Okay. I kind of the opinion, and I'm not saying you have to go this way, it's your platform, but before we make anything happen, the court has to be expanded. Because whatever laws we pass, they can just overturn them with a click of the pen because they're an activist court saying that they're just trying to explain the rule of law to us, which is preposterous. So I guess I'm just offering that to you as maybe a platform thing you'd like to do. But it's real murky when you say expand the court. People get real weird. But I just want to offer that to you in case that's something you'd like to heighten as part of your platform. But you don't have to, because I like everything you've said so far. Awesome. I have no beef with it.
That's one of many potential things that we could do with the Supreme Court. I do think we should codify some version of ethics for them so that everybody behaves in a way that is commensurate with public service. I also think that we should introduce term limits for members of the Supreme Court so they're not there forever, because you put them in there at 35 and they're there till they're 90. Whether it's term limits or some kind of age limits or, in terms of cognitive abilities, like that needs to be addressed.
That makes sense.
And I think we could look at that as well, what you said in terms of expanding the court.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Or leaving them into an alligator swamp, just kind of moving forward that way. I don't know. Maybe that's a bit violent. I mean, we're spitballing.
Yeah, I don't know quite enough about the impacts of all that, and so we'll see. But, there's a lot of options out there, and I think there are things we can do to make it better for the American public.
Well, that sounds good. And I would say I'm just really excited about the race and the caliber of candidates that are out there running. And I want to thank you for doing that. I want to thank you for your service.
Of course.
Thank you for being here. And, just leading with the things that are most important to you. And so I just want to just say that congratulations for making it this far, because it takes a lot to do that. Thank you for coming out and sharing your time, your opinion, your platform with us. And we do hope that you'll come back.
You bet.
Right.
I'm a fighter, and I'm excited to get this done for Michigan 7, so thank you for having me out.
My pleasure. And so the election?
Yes.
August 4th, correct?
August 4th. Early voting has started. Mail-in voting is available now. And so get your ballots in, and let's make your voices heard.
You heard it here. Maat Maasdam. Thank you so much. And we are going to take a short break, but not before reminding my listeners that this is Yanice Carter, host of the Sunday Chronicle, heard on Stax 92.1 FM, the platform for community, because community knows what community needs. We'll be back after this.
What is Recover Now? It's a movement to get clean and sober, started by you, friends and family members, or maybe even the person suffering from an alcohol or drug problem. Recover Now is a free service that helps people find treatment facilities covered by private insurance to help them start the road to recovery and succeed. If you or a loved one wants to recover now, call this number. It's a free call. Many of our treatment counselors have been exactly where you are, and they know what you're going through and how to help you get where you want to be. And that is on the road to recovery. With one free phone call, my specialist will check your insurance and help you get the best treatment for your needs. Remember, get clean, get sober. Use Recover Now as your free service. Here's the number.
800-936-5087. 800-936-5087. 800-936-5087. That's 800-936-5087.
I'm in my late 60s. emergency. My husband died a few years ago. He did all of our taxes. I sold a piece of property last year, and I forgot to claim the proceeds of the sale. Next thing I know, I got a letter from the IRS telling me that I owe over $50,000. Now I have a huge tax problem. I don't have that kind of money. I wish I knew who to call.
If you sold property in the last calendar year or didn't claim all of your part-time or even retirement income, you could be in big trouble with the IRS. Call first before they send you a letter. If you've already got a letter, call. We'll help you file years of past tax returns and save you time and money. So call the tax doctor. The call is confidential and free.
800-485-8801. 800-485-8801. 800-485-8801. That's 800-485-8801.
Are you paying too much for term life insurance? There's a tremendous price war among the major term life companies. Rates have dropped dramatically in the past 2 years. For example, a man age 45 non-tobacco user, $1 million of coverage is only $75 per month, level for the next 10 years. Or a man age 50 non-tobacco user can buy $500,000 of coverage for a monthly premium of only $110, guaranteed not to change for the next 20 years. That's right, level rates for 20 years. And if you're a smoker, we have great rates for you as well. At the Term Lifeline, we specialize in policies of $500,000 and above. So if you're looking for new or replacement term life insurance, call right now for a free quote.
Rates and availability may vary by state. Sample rate quotes are based on preferred non-tobacco underwriting exam required to qualify. 800-910-6034. 800-910-6034. 800-910-6034. That's 800-910-6034.
Hi, this is Yanice Carter, Chronicle News publisher and editor, host of the Sunday Chronicle, and mom. I've recently published my second book under the Chronicle Publishing Company. It's called The I Know I Can Coloring Book. You can get this along with my first book, Notes from the Trail. You can purchase them online at www.thechroniclenews.com, Amazon.com, and everywhere books are sold. You can get the audiobook Notes from the Trail on bookbaby.com. Good morning and welcome to the Sunday Chronicle. I'm your host, Yanice Carter, coming to you from Stacks 92.1 FM. This is the platform for community because community knows what community needs. I'd like to thank all my listeners and all my followers for being here once again, either bright and early on a Sunday morning or streaming from whatever platform you stream from. Thank you very much for that. We could not be here without you. 40 years strong in the community. We are doing away with silos, and we are connecting community one story, one brick at a time. Now, we are going to shift. Usually, I would say, thank my co-host for being here. He's not here today, and this is the day that he really wanted to be here, and I'm going to brag and rub it in his face. But y'all, I have a special treat for you all today. We have some very special guests. First of all, we have Miss Bridget Brink, and she is running for Congress, right?
Yep.
7th District within Michigan. Thank you for being here today.
Thank you, Yanice.
I know you're super, super duper busy, but
happy to be
this
here.
is going to be fun. We're going to have some fun, learn about you, the candidate, you know. We want to know that. That's important because if we know what type of person we're putting into office, I think we will know what types of things they'll be doing. So I think it's important that people know the person, right? Yeah. We want to know the platform. We want to know the technical stuff, but we don't want to know Bridget, right? And you also brought a special friend with you, Miss Jasmine Crockett. I mean, the name it sells itself. Thank you so much for being here.
Absolutely.
Ms.
Good
Crockett.
morning. It is a pleasure.
It is such a pleasure because I know you are busy. And so I'm going to let you guys introduce yourself and and tell me why you're here. Tell the audience why you're here today. Whoever would like to go first.
I'm going to let the guest of honor go first, for sure.
Ms. Bridget.
Well, thank you. First of all, Yanice, thank you. Thanks to all your listeners. It's a real honor to be here today. And I'm so proud and honored to be joined by Congresswoman Crockett, a real fighter for Texas, but also for our country. So for me, this is just really special to have you today. My name's Bridget Brink, and I'm a sixth-generation Michigander. I'm the granddaughter of Lansing auto worker. I'm the daughter of a teacher, graduate of Michigan State University, who raised me as a single mom. And we lived with my grandparents to make ends meet.
6 generations.
6 generations, yeah. And I was taught the values of hard work, integrity, and doing the right thing.
Okay.
And because of my fantastic Michigan public school education, I got a great education. Because of my mom's union's health insurance, I had health insurance when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
I got a job when I was 15, and I worked my way through college. I joined the Foreign Service and then served for 28 years, serving our country. That's the U.S. Foreign Service. It's our diplomatic corps.
Nice.
Serving mostly in the in war-torn places in the Balkans, on President Obama's National Security Council, and then also got a chance to be ambassador twice. President Biden asked me to be his ambassador to Ukraine at the start of Russia's full-scale invasion.
Nice.
But when President Trump came into office and decided to appease Putin, I decided that I could not execute that policy in good conscience. So I resigned, and I spoke out, and I came back home to run for Congress. And so I'm here because I believe, and I've seen it firsthand, that the chaos and corruption in Washington is hurting us at home and abroad, and it's hurting mid-Michiganders. So I came home to serve, but in a different way, and to serve our community. So I'm very happy to be here, proud to be here, and I'm running for the 7th District to beat Tom Barrett, the primary elections on August 4th, and I'm asking listeners and residents to look at the race and vote for me. Come out and vote before August 4th. I'd really be grateful. I want to create the biggest team possible so we can win, so we can fight, so we can stand up for the people of our district.
Well, I appreciate you because I know running for office, doing that myself, it can be very thankless. And, I mean, people want you to solve the problem right there on the spot when they ask the question, don't they? And so I do take my hat off to you because I know it's a lot of work. It's grueling. And how does your family feel about you running? That's what I want to know. How is it, you know, to have full support there?
So I have full and total support. My husband was also a Foreign Service officer. He was with USAID, which President Trump shut down. He was actually an expert in democracy and economic development. And we have 2 boys. And I can tell you they are 1,000% supportive because they know how important it is. They know how important it is for us to have principled people in Washington that are actually going to stand up and fight for the people back home. I know Congresswoman Crockett is exactly that type of person. That's why I'm so proud that she endorsed me and supported me because it is, as you say, it is hard. It is hard to do this as a politician, but it's so necessary. And we need people like Congresswoman Crockett. We need people like I want to be for our community, a champion.
So, Congresswoman, tell me the importance of this race and why you're endorsing Bridget.
Yeah, so first of all, thank you so much for giving the background on why it was important to actually know the background of the person that's running.
Yes.
Knowing the person matters. And unfortunately, we live in a time in which, you know, many people just don't have time to do the research, right? Like they're trying to figure out how they're going to keep a roof over their head, how they're going to make sure that clothes are on the backs of their kids, how they're going to get them to the school, whether or not the school has the resources that they need. And so, unfortunately, they don't really necessarily get that full story. And I am so happy that Bridget has a story that is worth telling.
Yes.
And if you don't know about where somebody came from, then you may not be able to predict where they're going.
That's right.
But I can tell you that a lot of people say, oh, I want to serve you. But my question is, what is it that you've done before? And so for me, real recognizes real. And, you know, not every race gets all of the attention and all the things. But this race matters for a number of reasons. Number one, Democrats do not have control in the House right now. I believe that we should absolutely take the House, and I think that we can take the House.
Okay.
This is a seat that the Democrats held prior to the most recent election. So it's not a matter of if we can do it.
Right.
We can. So this is about just getting down to business and getting the right candidate so that we can win. I think that primaries are always interesting to deal with just in general. But ultimately, in a race like this, we got to know who is it that no matter what happens, they're going to be able to stand there and win. Yes. And that's Bridget, right? Because a lot of people, it's like, oh, just vibes, right? Like, it's like, oh, I like this person, or, oh, this seems like, but this is somebody who literally has been in a war-torn area. This is somebody who was serving the federal government in that way. And when she talks about standing up to Trump, let me be clear about something. Many of you may not have learned my name until I had a little situation with a different blonde, okay? You may not have learned my name until then. But the reality is that when she ended up on the opposite side of Trump, she couldn't take it, and she had to actually leave Congress because it was that bad for her. People don't know what it takes to actually stand up, but Bridget does. So everybody says, oh, yeah, I'll push back. But the reality is that most of you haven't actually been in a position to push back, and we don't know if you really will. It sounds good, right? And I'm not saying that I know these other candidates well enough to say that they won't, but the reality is that there's only one person who's actually been tested and actually did it. Not to mention, this is very personal for her. You know, people get into office and everybody has their different stories and that kind of stuff. Whether we're talking about the lack of funding for research, this is a woman who has survived cancer. I don't care if you're a Democrat, Republican, Independent. Cancer has impacted every single one of us. And when you have people that look at our appropriations and they look at research dollars as just a random line item instead of understanding that people's lives may actually be cut short, that is personal for her. When she talks about USAID, I'm someone that sat on the Doge subcommittee. We're not going to talk about that. Nevertheless,
that's a whole other episode. We had to
as they were doging everything to save us money, even though, again, that was lip service. They told people that we're going to save you money. We're going to put more money in your pockets. People have less jobs. People have less money. Things cost more. And on top of that, our debt has gone up. So, like, stop falling for lip service. And make sure that people show up with a resume and a record, and that is who Bridget is, and that's why.
And you guys worked together before. That's how you know Bridget?
We have not worked directly together.
Okay.
For me, I pick certain races around the country.
Okay.
I have been, endorsing. Y'all don't mess up my record now. We've been doing real good because I do take my time. I take my time. I don't just put my name on somebody. I'm going to do my research because, again, I understand that some people just don't have the time because they are too busy trying to survive. And I want people to understand that when I put my name on somebody, I have vetted them quite a bit. It is somebody that I trust, and I feel like you should be able to trust.
Well, let me know, ladies, and either one of you can take this question. Because we have a lot of people, and they want to know about the candidates. They want to know what the race and what it really means to be in Congress. So if you get this seat, Bridget, how does this help Michigan? Like, what is your vision? And what does being a congressperson, what does that entail? And how does that help the people?
Well, maybe I'll start, but of course we have a sitting congresswoman here too, so I'd love to have Congresswoman Crockett talk more. But I'd just say I've based my race on 3 priorities, and those priorities are based on what I have heard knocking 30,000 plus doors in mid-Michigan in our district. And it is, number 1, health care. As Congresswoman mentioned, I'm a breast cancer survivor. I never thought I'd get breast cancer. It was a total shock to me, and I had cancer surgery, but it cost $100,000 for my surgery. And luckily, I had insurance. But I am still fighting with my insurance company to get all of the testing covered. I can tell you, everywhere I go in the district, someone has a nightmare story about health care, health insurance, their health. They're worried about themselves, their family members, and their kids. This is a crisis. It's a crisis that I now feel and know firsthand. And in addition to this, we have the Congressman Tom Barrett, who's voted against extending the Affordable Care Act subsidies. He's voted for the Big Ugly Bill, which has stripped 25,000 people in our district off of Medicaid.
And the Affordable Care Act, just to be clear, that's for the if getting health care off the marketplace. That's a reduced or subsidy.
And some people called it Obamacare.
Okay.
For however people know it. Some people called it Obamacare.
And it changed drastically, right?
Yes. Now people like my friend who's a small business owner, his family insurance was $1,000 a month, and now it's $2,000 a month. And for small business owners, or for young people who don't have health insurance, or for people who just happen to not have health insurance with their job or don't have a job. This is a real problem, and we have to fix it. I have a whole plan on what we can do. I'm for practical, pragmatic solutions that expand affordability and accessibility of healthcare. I think it's very important.
It's very important with the amount of small business owners and how much it fuels the economy. And for the business owners not to be able to afford insurance, that is an issue. And so to address something like that, I know that the people within the district would, really appreciate those issues being addressed.
And taking on the insurance companies and the pharmaceutical companies. So I'm a mom as well, and I just heard from your colleague about the price of insulin, capping the price of insulin. I have a kid with asthma, so paying for EpiPens, which for children you need to have multiple ones, so you have them at home, at school, in different places, and they're a fortune. In addition, we should have Medicare negotiating on a wider range of drugs to keep the prices down. And because I spent a lot of my professional life overseas, I know that prescription drugs don't have to be as expensive as they are here. We need to fix that, and we need to prioritize this. That's the first thing that I'm running on. The second is on just skyrocketing costs. And this is something we have seen since the beginning of the Trump administration, just made worse by Trump policies. So, for example, the reckless tariffs. So we're in Michigan. So Canada is our biggest trading partner. And just last week, Trump announces that new 50% tariffs on certain goods from Canada. This is affecting our farmers, our auto industry, just our groceries. The cost is going up, and I'm hearing about it from every single person in the district. The Iran war, this reckless headlong entry into a war of choice with no exit strategy has not only cost the precious lives of our sons and daughters, of 18 of them now, but it's also cost us $37 billion and counting. And it's making cost at the gas pump more and more. It's more than $1 than it was back in February. So if you think of the young family with a couple cars, they're paying more than a couple $100s a month for gas. In addition. So this is a real problem. Housing, another one. This is a problem for people at all age ranges, but especially young people. Young people, the average age of buying a house is now 40 years old. And I know there's some new legislation that just passed. I think this is a great step, but we really have to do more.
He didn't want to sign into law, but
Exactly, but we got to do more. We got to do more. This is a big problem, and it's one that I, as a kid who, with a single mom, we didn't just live paycheck to paycheck. We lived in debt, trying not to get more in debt. So I know exactly what people are feeling when they're trying to deal with these skyrocketing costs in all areas.
And we appreciate you going to bat, because, like I said, I know this isn't easy. And I'm going to shift a little bit. Have you been taking care of yourself? I know you're on the campaign and stuff. What,
well, I'm taking a page out of the pro here. I'm trying.
I'm hoping that you are practicing self-care while you're out here on the campaign.
You got to August 4th. She's gonna run through this tape.
That's right.
Okay.
We're gonna run through the tape.
Yeah, she got to August 4th, and then she will, I'm sure, take a little bit of a break, and then she's got to get back on. She's got to win.
Yeah.
And no matter the outcome of this race, I want to thank you for doing this. I know it's not easy. Sitting here and answering this stuff over and over and over. So we appreciate that. And, just putting yourself out there, you and your family. Thank you for that.
Thank you. But I admire Congresswoman Crockett and everybody who's stepping up to do it, because I think maybe even more than ever, we really need people who are going to step up, who are principled, and who are really going to fight and deliver. And that's what we need right now.
Moral
we need
values
it in every way possible.
And we need people that actually know what they're talking about. Literally not just a talking point, but literally understand how these things work. As she just sat here, she didn't just read from, say, a website or direct somebody to her website. Instead, she could actually lay down and give you the analysis and specifically tell you that in this district, the congressman that represents this district has voted to hurt his own constituents directly. She gave you the numbers in this district. But it's impacting people all over this country, which is one of the reasons that I can't ever afford to say, well, I'm here in Texas and I represent Texas 30, because ultimately my constituents were harmed as well by his vote. So it's always bigger. You talk about your show not getting people out of silos. That's what this is about, understanding the fullness of government and how it impacts everyone. She talked about the tariffs. She talked about housing. She talked about the manufacturing industry, whether we're talking about cars, which I heard is kind of a thing in Michigan. But ultimately, most people don't know that our largest trade partner when it comes to lumber, which you need for houses, is Canada, right? So when you're trying to figure out all the things that go into why is housing more expensive, or why is it that I somehow can't get a loan for a home, right? Like all these things are decisions that are being made by some elected official. And the vast majority of them are on the federal level. When you start to talk about our food supply, I just had a hearing where I talked about the salads and things and what was going on. But it's funny because it's crazy, but at the same time, it's really sad.
It is, yes.
Because we're looking at, farmers and ranchers that are having to deal with challenges that historically they've not had.
Right.
And now we're talking about, well, if there's less salad in the orbit, that's if they finally start to pull stuff down. But that's a whole other issue. But then what happens? That means that the cost of what is around goes up. And so we're dealing with this, whether we're talking about beef. We've had beef struggles now for a while.
It's been a while.
No, we've been struggling, and it's only been made worse by this administration, right? We know that RFK has been beyond reckless, right? And so we know that the cattle supply is literally dying. At the same time as this president decided to send $40 billion to Argentina of our dollars. Well, guess what? As he instituted these crazy tariffs, people said, you know what, we're going to get our beef from Argentina, who we just helped out. We gave them money to then take away money from our own people. And, Bridget talked about USAID.
Yes.
And I just want to be real clear about this, because I think a lot of people see money going other places and they don't really understand it. You want somebody that understands. She understands the importance of soft power.
Yes.
USAID was our way of having people actually not dislike the United States, right? But it was for fractions of pennies on the dollar. We're talking about less than 1% of our entire budget was going towards USAID, less than 1%. But if you just talk about the number itself, people are like, that's a lot of money, because it's more money than we have in our bank accounts. But guess what it kept us from? It kept us from wars that cost us billions of dollars. It kept people from hating us and wanting to fly planes into our buildings.
And this
that
is what
it
we need.
does.
And this is what we need to know. We need to have this information and make sure that we're presenting this to the people. And before, because our time is growing near, I wanted to ask you all, as you continue campaigning, I want to ask not just you, because you all are already giving so much of yourself, but this is a collective effort. It's not just up to the people in office, but we need people to go out and vote, right?
Yes.
We need people to be active and give feedback and reach out to the people that are in office. So, Bridget, Jasmine, how do people get a hold of you if they need you, if they need your help? Because a lot of people don't know. They see you on social media.
Yes.
They see you in the commercials and the endorsements. But how do we get a hold of you? Because that's what you're here for, right?
Yes. That's right. Well, maybe I'll start and just say, first, just thank you so much for the chance to talk a little bit about the issues that concern our district, and for having us here. But I'd say I think we're facing the most dangerous moment in the history of our country, at least in my lifetime. We've faced a lot of hard moments in our country, going back to the fight for independence, Civil War, suffrage movement, civil rights movement. I feel that we're in a moment now where we're really fighting for our democracy in a way that requires us all to stand up and do whatever we can. This is what I'm doing to contribute to that fight. What other people can do is vote, get out.
And when are we voting?
August 4th.
And early, right?
And early. You can vote now. If you have an absentee ballot, you can send it in now. You can take it in. You can also go in early and vote. Early voting's already started, and you have to vote by August 4th, the evening of August 4th.
And you can register to vote up until the day
That's right.
of.
That's right.
Like almost until like the very end of the evening.
That's right.
So there's really like not any excuse anymore.
Yes. So every adult 18 years and over has this right, and in my view, responsibility. And I'd love to earn the vote of every single person in our district. And how to get a hold of me? So I'm at BridgetBrink.com.
BridgetBrink.com
has an email.
Contact us.
Yep, contact us. There's info@BridgetBrink.com. That's my email. And we have a phone number also on our website. Love to talk to anybody. I have a small but mighty team that is working around the clock to make sure that we answer people, that we give information, and that we do everything we can to serve our district and represent the district.
Well, I appreciate you, and I do hope you come back in whatever capacity.
Thank you.
Ms. Crockett,
that's great. You guys have nice things in Michigan. I remember when I was campaigning on behalf of the vice president in Michigan, and I was going all around. So this is not my first time here either, y'all. Look out for them people that ain't been here either. Okay. But it's not my first time, but I talked about you could either have a country that looks more like Michigan, or you could have a country that looks more like Texas. And the thing is, at that time, we had you had an executive, or you have an executive who is a woman and a Democrat, and you had two bodies that were controlled by the Democrats. And you were able to get things done around gun reform here. Mm-hmm. We can't get that stuff done in Texas. You are able to do things such as make sure that you have same-day voter registration all the way up to Election Day. In Texas, that's not a possibility. We don't have online voter registration. We don't have same-day voter registration. They are doing everything that they can to present as many impediments to the ballot box as possible. Right now, they're kicking people off the rolls. When you want to talk about what it looks like to have Democrats on the front lines and protecting our democracy, look at Michigan. And that's not to say that people don't have complaints, because, baby, we all going to have complaints because nothing is perfect.
Right.
But the reality is that you need people that are genuine about this moment and understand the stakes. And that's Bridget. That's just the end of the story is Bridget. And so I do encourage each and every one of you. I very rarely get these things wrong. And I am here to tell you that this is the type of fighter that you not only want, but you need. I know that you're hurting right now. Use your federal offices as much as possible. If there's any federal agency that has been problematic, from your Social Security to your passport to IRS, whomever it is, VA, whoever it is, make sure that you're reaching out. Now, I don't know very much about y'all's current member of Congress in the House, but it is his job. When you're elected, you are supposed to work for everyone, and that's exactly who Bridget will be. But you also have two senators. They can also do the exact same thing. Make sure you're going and you're visiting their websites. Our websites are always our last name. So mine, if you were to send me a note, it's crockett.house.gov. Okay. So whoever your rep is, it's their last name, .house.gov. Make sure you go online. That's where we can submit cases electronically, and it automatically goes in the system. So, do your part to make sure that we're doing our part. Our job is to work for you. It's not the other way around. We serve at your pleasure, and that is why it has not necessarily been a pleasure for the incumbent to serve. And so, therefore, we got to make sure he's gone.
Hey, I think that was a mic drop moment. So, I appreciate you, ladies. Thank you so much for being here. Ms. Crockett, I do hope you'll come back as well.
Yes.
All right. And with that, we are going to take a break, but not before reminding you all that this is Yanice Carter, the host of the Sunday Chronicle, heard on Stacks 92.1 FM, the platform for community, because community knows what community needs. We'll be back after this.